Well, what do you think of tonight?
It's one of those moments where, you know, you've worked so hard for so long that you almost forget to think about what it'll look like if you win. You know, you're so concentrated on getting your policies out, on doing well in debates, on making all those phone calls. So tonight it's a little bit overwhelming, and but I'm excited. I'm very optimistic.
You've been described by people as sort of, Stephen Harper with a smile, with a nod to the continuity issue. You and I have talked a number of times, and you've suggested, look, the party's not broken. The party's got lots to offer, but it needs to work on the messaging and its connection with Canadians. So what's the plan?
Well, we've got 2 years to put it all together and come up with not just a set of policies, but as you said, a way of talking about them. When you talk to Canadians issue by issue, they're very conservative. You know, they don't like massive deficits. They know that their children will have to pay that back, that those taxes have to get paid by someone. You know, they want safe communities. They want Canada to have a strong, principled foreign policy. So the trick for us is to take those things that we know Canadians are receptive to and talk to them in a way that resonates. You know, as Brad Wall in Saskatchewan will often say, Conservatives need to finish the sentence, that we want balanced budgets. Why? You know, why are balanced budgets good? What is our case for that? It's not just so we like black ink on the ledger. It's because we want to stop borrowing money from future generations. So we want less of your tax dollar going to pay interest to banks. Those are the types of ways that we can take our message and explain it in a way that'll garner us more support.
Are you surprised? I don't even know if you've had a chance to talk to your own people about the numbers and how they all shook down. I'm not going to dig too down deep, except to say that you won every province except Alberta, which may or may not be surprised, and it wasn't a big gap, and Quebec that Maxime Bernier won, but you weren't far behind him in the province of Quebec. What does that say to you?
Well, it's encouraging. It's very encouraging. You know, being from the prairies, having a seat in Western Canada and Saskatchewan, I had a lot of support from my home province, obviously, but across the prairies.
74%, I think, it's Saskatchewan.
I'm pretty sure I did well in Regina Capel. I haven't had time to do a deep dive in the numbers, but I'm very optimistic. I think the message of how a positive proposition for Canadians, of how conservative policies lift people out of poverty, create the prosperity that improves the quality of life for Canadians, resonates in every part of the country. Every region wants to see growth and families better off. And coming from Saskatchewan, you know, I have roots in Ontario, from Ottawa originally, but Saskatchewan has turned itself around. We've done the hard work. We know what it takes to go from a have-not province to a have province, to bring people back to our province. That's a message that resonates in regions of Quebec, in New Brunswick, in Nova Scotia. So I believe I'm going to be a good ambassador for that.
Before you get to message Canadians at large, you got to look at the results tonight in the context of what's going on in the party too. I think when we drill down into some of these results, and we saw it in the results tonight, the social conservatives on the ticket, particularly, and you're one of them, but the very vocal ones with a plan of how they would like the party to deal with social conservative issues. They would like to bring them back and put them at the forefront, and they may well have been responsible, when you watch the numbers shifting, a lot of their supporters for your victory tonight at the end of the day. What are you going to do for them as the party leader? Those people who've said, we want to reopen the abortion issue, we want to reopen the same-sex marriage issue.
Well, you know, I think you may be putting a little bit of a oversimplified analysis on that. There are a lot of areas of overlap between all the different kinds of conservatives. And as I said in my speech, we need every kind of conservative, not just to vote for us, but to have a place in our party and feel excited about being part of the team. And the job of the leader is to find those areas of common ground. I've made it very clear that as Prime Minister, I will not introduce legislation that reopens some of these debates. But our party has to be a home for people who have a diversity of opinion on some of these issues. And what I find so frustrating is the way that the left, the Liberals, the NDP, have become so intolerant of any kind of discussion on some key issues.
So you'll be okay with members of your caucus proposing a bill, for instance?
But I know this is I know the media like to try to, you know, paint things in a certain way and box politicians, especially, you know, fresh off the stage. But
well, you're the leader now.
No, I asked for this, right? Yeah. No, but the key is for the leader is to focus on those areas of common ground and say, look, you know, what are some of the things that we can say to social conservatives? Is it conscience rights for medical practitioners? Right. Is it, you know, family-friendly tax cuts that make it easier for families to save and raise children? Is it, you know, defending free speech? You heard tonight the reaction to my policy on promoting free speech on campuses, where, you know, campus clubs clubs get decertified, special guests get uninvited because they have a different opinion on issues. That speaks to social conservatives. It also speaks to fiscal conservatives, foreign policy conservatives. So that's the leader's job, is to find that common ground.
Yeah, but there's a practical application to that. The practical application is if I'm a member of your caucus and I say I want to introduce a private member's bill that reignites, as an effect, the conversation around the rights of unborn children. Are you sure you're a private member? Go ahead and do it, or that's not happening in my caucus.
Look, I know you like to have those binary choices, you know, and
well, you might face them.
No, but look, I believe I can, and if you look back at, you know, how our caucus has conducted itself and the types of things put forward, I always believed, and I do believe as an individual MP, I'd like to propose legislation that has a chance of succeeding, that has a chance of uniting our party, that our whole caucus can get divided. I don't want to bring in a bill that half my caucus is going to vote against, create that division and make it less likely for us to stay united and win the next election. And it's going to be my job as leader to encourage every different kind of conservative to focus on those issues. It's not just social issues. There's a lot of things, you know, whether it's supply management, whether it's, you know, aspects of our foreign policy. It's the leader's job to find that common ground and say, look, the debate on some of these issues may be happening and it may be important to have, but for our caucus, for our party, we have to focus on those things that we can agree on.
I bet you would have liked to win by, you know, you would have liked a vote result of 70%. What you got was a winning margin of 2%. And so you look at those numbers and say, okay, you look at those on the math and say that's a split party. Either one of you two gentlemen could have won tonight, but for a shift in a few thousand votes, probably at the end of the day. So what does that say about the state of the party with a vote this tight?
Well, again, you know, I'm always looking on the positive side of things, and you look at our last quarter for fundraising, we've had so many new people donate to the Conservative Party because they believe in what we're fighting for. If you look at the number of memberships that we've sold, we went from 80,000 at the beginning of the race to about 260,000 now. We knew this race was going to be competitive. Maxime has a great you know, he's a man of integrity, and he's a politician that has a logical consistency to everything he puts forward. We knew it was going to be tight with 13 candidates at the end of the day. We knew, you know, it was going to take many rounds, but every one of those caucus members that were up on stage tonight, regardless of who they supported, they all said the same thing to me. We're with you. We're ready to go Monday morning. All
right, so you're ready to go Monday morning?
Absolutely.
Question period?
Sleep.
Question period? Leading off question period Monday?
Absolutely. Yeah, excited. I've been thinking about that for the last 8 months.
All right, Andrew Scheer, great to talk to you. We've had many chances to talk before, both as a member of Parliament, as Speaker, and now as leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Congratulations, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. All right.